The Delmarva Home Show has so many wonderful sponsors. Here's a sponsor spotlight with DryZone.
We're here at the DryZone office, and I'm here with Bill. Bill, 20 years of DryZone. For viewers who are just tuning in for the first time, can you explain what DryZone is?
Yeah, so 20 years ago, it was February 2nd, 2006 at 2:04 in the afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
That was when I got our EIN number from the IRS. So that's when I said we had our birthday. So we are the oldest, largest crawl space basement foundation repair company on Delmarva.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know really what that is, your crawl space. It's something that a lot of people are maybe scared to go down and check out.
For sure, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
But it definitely, if you take care of it, it's gonna help the longevity of your home.
Yeah, it's the whole idea is, your house, everything you breathe is coming through your crawl space, right? Because your house breathes from the bottom to the top. And as air moves through your home, it's being replaced with, the outside air, and then it gets trapped in that crawl space and it'll start getting condensation and, all the creepy crawlies, molds, all that good stuff really starts building up in there. And that's what you're breathing every day and what your family's breathing. So yeah, you always got to start with the bottom.
And how could you know if you're having an issue down there?
So, sometimes people will have smells. The floors are cold in the wintertime. The house starts to feel kind of clammy and moldy. If you go away for like a week or two, go on vacation and you come back and your house just has that old musty smell, like that old basement-y smell.
Okay.
It's a good indication. The easy thing is just simply give us a call and we can come out and do a free inspection. So
let the experts handle it.
Absolutely.
And during that inspection, what are some things that they're looking for down there?
Yeah, so the whole process normally takes, an hour and a half, 2 hours. We do a thorough inspection. So we're crawling the entire crawl space. We're taking lots of pictures. We're taking readings of the wood, of the air. We're trying to figure out things in the soil, where the water's coming from, how it's happening, all of those good things. And then when we're done, we come up and we sit down with you and we basically show you the stuff that we found. So it's not you just taking some guy's word for it. We're actually giving you lots of information
knowledge.
So you can make decisions. Yeah.
And what are some of the solutions, I guess?
Yeah, so like with crawl spaces, there's 4 steps to fixing a crawl space, right? So the first step is we have to stop groundwater seepage or fix groundwater seepage. And that's normally sump pumps and drains. Then we have to simply isolate the home from the damp earth, which is our clean space products and our drainage mattings. And then step 3 is we have to seal out unconditioned air. So we block the crawl space vents. We do a lot of different air sealing stuff, and then your crawl space door. And then step 4 is dehumidification, which is a dehumidifier.
Yeah, that sounds like you're an expert at this. 20 years of doing this.
20 years, yeah.
What do you think sets you apart?
I recently had a large, where I'm still kind of in the process of it, a large landscaping project done at my house. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot of landscapers. I like to kind of cut my own grass, but we're really kind of changing up a whole bunch of stuff. And I went online and there was a whole lot of information, there just wasn't a whole lot of good information, So I had to really start kind of figuring out what was good and what was bad on my own with having no knowledge. So what really separates us is the first thing we do is we send out this large packet of information to your home. And, it really talks about the science behind the things that we do. So that way you're a little bit more informed when we walk in there, as opposed to this guy has an opinion, that guy has an opinion, this girl has an opinion, that girl has an opinion. We're simply trying to give you as much good information as we can. So that way you can simply make up your own mind, not just being sold.
You guys have a great group of employees. Plenty of awards and stuff hanging on the front door when we're walking in.
Right.
It smells like popcorn in here. They pop popcorn every day. I'm going to grab a bag before we leave. But what is this? Explain this to us here.
Yeah, so this was something that we did during COVID, and it talks about the past, the present, and future, right? Because the power's in the present. So periodically, as we have grown, and we started in 2020, so we're a few years late into it. We should have started in 2006.
Yeah.
We'll put something up here that matters, whether it's just a saying, whether it's something we're trying to announce, whether it's a new product, or like a rally speech that we do. So quarterly we sit down with our team and we kind of go like a state of the union every quarter to our employees. And so over the last 6 years now, as we go, it just kind of keeps on getting turned and turned and turned. So right now we have 6 years of our history just on this scroll.
Just in this scroll.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a secret kept down here, but everyone else knows what's on it. But that's cool that you kind of are celebrating, right? Like your team wins and you're giving them updates and what's new and what's next. That's important to continue to grow.
It is, because you have to understand your past to get better than your past. Because the stuff that we did 20 years ago wouldn't work today, right? And people have to grow, right? I mean, it's, you're having a baby. So, I mean, you're going to grow. You're probably a lot different than you were when you were 16, right? So,
Thankfully, no.
but if you don't remember those lessons that you had when you were 16, you're probably not going to be a good 30-year-old, right? So, we're just very big into, we can all make dumb things in the past, but we can also just be excellent in the future too. So that's kind of what a lot of
I love this. I love all this. Speaking of growth, though, let's talk about Grace.
Yeah.
Grace is your daughter.
Grace is my daughter.
And Grace has been learning this company since probably she was born.
Yeah, pretty much. She would sit underneath home show, like the tables. She would sit underneath there and play her Game Boy. And when she was 12 years old, she actually started working home show booths. And she's worked in all of our companies. I remember several years ago, I was looking for a salesperson for our Hello Garage company. And I said, Grace, do you want to go learn how to sell? And she was like, well, do I get out of the office? And I'm like, yeah, you definitely, you kind of have to. So she went out that year and she finished 8th in the nation.
Wow.
And she was the first female salesperson for Hello Garage in the nation.
Yeah.
So now we told her she had to learn accounting. So she was really upset about that, but she's really kind of taken that like a duck to water.
That's awesome.
So she's doing accounts payable, accounts receivable for 2 of our companies. She's doing payroll for all 3. She's just learning how to become an owner.
And what does that mean for you? I mean, proud papa, right?
Yeah.
But to keep the company going, right? That's the future we're talking about.
That's, we talk about past, present, future. So, Heather and I started this company with her mom and dad. And so there's 2 generations that were in the company when it got started, but we have 3 generations of people who actually work in the company. And, there was a ton of stuff that I learned from Heather's mom and dad, and there's a lot of stuff that Grace is learning from her mom and dad. And there's a lot of stuff that she learns from us. And quite frankly, I think there's a lot of stuff we learn from her, So it's when you talk about a family business, I can't think of a different life I would ever want to live than the one we have, not because of the great things. And, we own this beautiful facility and, we get to do a lot of crazy things in life and all that. But, I get to spend every single day with my kid.
Yeah.
And, Heather gets to spend every day with her mom and dad. And, it's just I can't imagine a better life.
Yeah. It's a win-win.
It's a totally win-win.
And it's full circle.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on 20 years of DryZone. And thanks for being a partner of the Home Show.
Thank you.